Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the MundaneChats channel, and oh my god, remember GameStop, right? It had that whole thing like, hey, we're gonna do this unlimited game rental service for $60 for every 6 months, and it was actually a pretty solid idea. Everyone seemed to be on board with it. Everyone seemed to be like, yeah, that's not too bad. I kind of like this. I kind of like the idea of being able to go and do this. Well, it turns out they've paused the program, because this is GameStop, and they realize that when they've done something good, whoa, they have to stop immediately and kill it, because if it's good for business, it's clearly not good for GameStop. So it says here, after a soft launch earlier this month, GameStop has suspended its forthcoming PowerPass service, set to offer customers unlimited access to used games for 6 months. The program was originally scheduled to launch fully in the coming weeks, with signups to begin on November 19th. Initial reports on the PowerPass program explained that it would allow participants to essentially rent used titles from GameStop. Those titles would be limited to ones offered at the store's physical location rather than through the chain's online inventory, which makes perfect sense to get people in stores. And considering the fact that GameStop right now is turned into more of like a Think Geek type Pop Funko whatever type store, it makes sense. You want to get them in and get them getting the games, and then possibly purchasing other little knickknacks. Which is fine, because gamers like to buy that kind of stuff. So PowerPass's $60 price tag would cover 6 months of playing and swapping, after which customers would select one pre-owned game to keep permanently. Whether or not the program specifics will change as a result of suspension remains unclear. And the thing is, it's a solid idea, right? It's absolutely a solid idea. GameStop essentially is a pawn shop. It's been classified as such. And as a result of that, people buy the used games, they trade and sell games and whatnot. And it's people, they like to kind of return them. And after 7 days, and maybe treat it as a bit of a rental store anyway. And GameStop knows that this happens, right? I know they know that this happens, because I've been banned before from returning games. This is like a long time ago. I was renting one game a week from GameStop and playing it and returning it, to the point of where the district manager saw my name pop up so many times. He was like, you need to tell him to stop. And then I was friends with the people who worked there, and they were like, you gotta stop. And I'm all like, all right, it's fine, it's fine. They were cool about it, but they were like, no, you got the attention of our boss, so no, you got to chill. So, I get it. People do that kind of stuff all the time. So it says here that GameStop employees have been instructed to remove signage advertising PowerPass from stores. Additionally, GameStop spokesperson said that those who have already purchased their membership through the soft launch can receive a full refund and pick out a used game to keep for their troubles. The same spokesperson said, gave this explanation. But before we get into the explanation, that's actually quite generous of GameStop to issue a full refund and then give those people a free game of their choice, right? Now, the thing is, they get to choose a used game. So obviously, if there's no limit to the cost of the used game, they could get something that's brand new, that's been traded in, that's selling for $54.99 on the store shelf, and get that plus their $60 back. All things considered, man, I'm kind of pissed at myself for not having signed up for this thing, even though I really had no need for it. Had I known this would have been the outcome, free game is still a free game, and taking a little bit back from GameStop, I think would have been okay. I don't think anyone out there would have really mind. Anyway, here's the explanation given, saying here, we have elected to temporarily pause the rollout of the new PowerPass subscription service based on a few program limitations we've identified. We feel this is the right thing to do for now to ensure we are able to provide our guests an exceptional service, meaning something was fundamentally broken and wasn't easily fixed, so they scrapped it, or they saw that it might be too popular in its current form and they want to try to scale back the restrictions in order to make sure, or beef up the restrictions really, in order to make sure that people don't stop bringing in new games to trade in. Because again, that's going to be a big part of this whole aspect of it, is that people, they still need that constant, new inventory. So if they start, people stop buying new games and renting them from GameStop, that's going to really dry up that avenue, which again might work okay for them if they're just trying to get the $60 out of people and go from there. It's weird. Anyway, GameStop's entrance into the rental game market comes amid the company's continued financial difficulties. The gradual and consistent trend away from physical games towards digital games ones have hit the retailer hard. Last March, against a backdrop of slouching sales and falling stock prices, GameStop announced it would close 190 of its 6,600 stores. The chain is undeniably feeling the pain that has marked the retail industry more broadly in the age of digital commerce. Look, and here's the thing with that though, is I buy all my games through Best Buy. I've got the Gamers Club Unlocked. It's $30. It lasts 2 years. I get 20% off new games, which means that a $60 title is marked down to $48. During the holiday season, they've been doing it where you buy a new game. Well, essentially you pre-order it, right? You could pre-order it like the day of it comes out. And then you get the 20% off and you get an additional $10 back. You do that a couple times, especially if you pick up some of the new games, and you've already got a free game out of it. Yeah, it's all physical copies, but you're still only paying like $48 or $38 if you look at it for a brand new title. So yeah, GameStop hasn't done any of that and still has, it's just not worth it to go there and buy the new games anymore. I haven't purchased a game from GameStop at this point now. I want to say probably close to like 3 years. I haven't purchased a game. I haven't purchased anything from GameStop because I simply don't want to give them any money. That's my angle on it. But because also there's better deals elsewhere. There's just better deals elsewhere, and GameStop realizes that, and that's why they transitioned away into more of the kind of like gamer trinket avenue. Like, oh, do you want a t-shirt? You want a backpack? You want a coffee mug? You want a Chewbacca fleshlight? These are things you can get at GameStop, minus the Chewbacca fleshlight. But things like that, because they want to get people to come on in and purchase the Pop Funko figures, which those are everywhere. Funny little thing about that is their stock has crashed. So that might not even be much of a thing for much longer because they've oversaturated the market so much with that particular brand that it's not selling as well anymore. And that's been something that's recently come out too. So that could be impacting GameStop from its financial aspect because one of its big partners is now in a bit of a rough go because of lack of sales, whereas GameStop has put a lot of emphasis. I mean, there's walls of the Funko Pops all over GameStops. Any GameStop you go to, there's like a wall, a whole huge section. They're not selling. They're just not selling. So again, GameStop has made some very bad choices. This particular PowerPass system, in my opinion, was one that would probably be considered good. So them scaling it back means there was seriously problems there. So anyway, it says here, it's understandable for a new program to experience hiccups as it approaches its launch. That's what soft launches are for. However, by not announcing a reinstatement date for the PowerPass and by being ambiguous about why it was paused in the first place, GameStop has raised a few flags. Kotaku references employees who speculated that GameStop's computer infrastructure couldn't handle the program. So the few program limitations that GameStop spokesperson left undefined could be any number of things. The price, its duration, the games customers can keep after the program expires, or anything else. And I get that. I do get that. I think that ultimately what's going to happen here is they're going to bring it back out, and they're probably going to say, you can keep a game up to $30 or something. They're going to put a limitation on the price of the pre-owned title because they still need to make it enticing for people who buy games new and then turn them in. What GameStop should do, if you want my honest opinion, would be to maybe like lobby the games industry to at least, especially consoles, for digital purchases to be transferred between people and then create kind of a marketplace, a digital marketplace there. If they could do that, that would be insane. If they could do that and set up a digital marketplace where I could sit there and go, you know what, I bought For Honor. All right, I bought For Honor. I'm done playing For Honor digitally. I'll sell it for, $30 or whatever, pop it up on a marketplace. They get their a couple percentage or whatever. I get my money back to me. I could then purchase another digital game. It would then keep it flowing through. But at the same time, they would never do that because that would cut into the sales. Keep in mind that, games companies, they hate GameStop for used game sales because they say that it actually removes a sale of a new title and therefore just gives GameStop more cash, which effectively is true. But at the same time, these are sales that probably would never warrant a new purchase anyway. There are people out there that simply don't want to buy new games. They don't trust games when they first come out, given the fact that some games are incomplete and they feel more like early access. And I'm actually not going to argue against that. It does feel in this day and age that a lot of games are in fact early access. Like the day one patch for Star Wars Battlefront 2 that I just got today was 8 gigabytes. It was 8 damn gigabytes. The update for For Honor for Season 4 was 19 gigabytes. It's insane how big these things are now. So anyway, I think this is a good idea for GameStop. I'm getting off track, but I think this is a good idea for GameStop to definitely look into, you know, to keep this thing afloat, because it could help them. And as much as I have no problem with watching GameStop go the way of the, you know, the dodo, I at the same time, I like to see underdogs succeed, and I kind of like to see underdogs bucket to the system if possible. So I kind of want to see them knock this one out of the park, if for nothing else, then just as kind of maybe a screw you to publishers that do on, you know, anti-consumer practices. And again, I'm bringing up a little bit of the loot box controversy, whereas I do believe that they are in fact optional and that you have your own choices there. It's still crappy that they're in so many games, and this might be a way of kind of bucking the system on that one. If game companies stop getting sales and people don't buy, you know, these crates and they're buying them all from third party, then that's a lot. That's going to definitely, you know, definitely going to have an impact. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. But in the meantime, I do hope GameStop fixes this and makes used games great again. Hey guys, that wraps up this video. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do so below. I love to read your guys' input. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. If you want to support the channel, there's the Amazon affiliate store, there's PayPal, there's Patreon, there's Bitcoin. And if you're bored and you want something else to watch, check out 3 Buck Theater up here. My name is Matt Jarbo. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a wonderful day. Peace out.